Alrighty, so the new Bond comes out in a couple of days, and I wanted to put this video out in advance so that way I can sort of tell you guys what I'm working on, and maybe you can tell me what you're working on, so that way we can be ready together. You know what I mean? So if you're new to the channel, or you're, new around here and you haven't subscribed, or whatever the case may be, feel free to subscribe. We're on the way to 15,000 subscribers, and it's honestly going really, really well. Hopefully this festival does pretty good. Obviously, there's already been a little bit of skepticism about this new Bond. I've been watching, videos and stuff on him as he's been released, and there's already seeming to be a pretty, back and forth on whether or not this Bond is actually good or not. He definitely is very interesting. So if you're planning on summoning for him, this is what I'm going to be doing to sort of prepare. And like I said, if you have any, things that I maybe miss in this video, feel free to leave them down in the comments, because I would love to sort of, be as prepared as I possibly can. First and foremost is light books. I know a lot of people are always very interested on, like, just don't know, or whatever the case may be. Whenever a light or dark unit comes out, they're like, hey, I don't know how to get these. There's not like a way to farm them or anything like that, which is very true. So basically what's going to happen is whenever the character drops, or if you want to do it in advance, you can actually go over to the King Exchange, which is what I'm going to do to show you how I got these books right now. So basically what you do is you go over here and you look at either your red, your green, your blues, probably which one you have the most of. So technically I have the most 3-star red books right now, so I can go to Equivalent Exchange, pick light books. It is a 3-to-1 conversion rate, and I need 2 more of these books. So technically I'm using 6 of my red books to make 2 of these yellow books right here. You just make them like that. It's really not too difficult. I know that it's a little bit complicated just because it's not really a book that they show you how to get. Another thing is that if you go to your characters, for example, if whenever the new Bond drops and you go to power him up, for example, you can go to your limit break. Unfortunately, I already have all of my light characters level 100, so I can't really show you, but whenever you click on limit break, there should be a button somewhere on this screen that tells you, like, hey, do you want to exchange books? Because when you do that, it'll actually take you to a menu inside the limit break screen, which is a little bit more convenient, and it just lets you pick, hey, trade these 3 books or whatever for the correct book, whatever it is. It lets you do it a little bit more in depth. I kind of hope that they make it to where there's a screen to do that instead of just the King Exchange, because it's not necessarily as intuitive as the system inside the limit break screen is. So you can also do it like that. I just wanted to be a little bit preemptive, make sure that I had the books that I needed before he dropped. So just to show you, we're going to look at Nagato's video really quickly, just as an example. But whenever he goes to power up his Bond, he goes from level 1 to level 50, which is very normal, and then you have to limit break the character to UR, which is completely normal. You can see right there, he needs 10 of the 3-star books, 2 of the 4-star books, and 1 of the 5-star book, which is why I have the same books in my game right now. That's why I went ahead and made those. So he uses 3 evolution pendants because it takes 21 SSR pendants overall to get a character to max. He goes ahead and gets him from level 1 to level 60, and then you can see with the new quality of life feature that they have added, you can even increase it to where you completely power up the character from 60 to level 100. I'm not sure if you can do it beforehand, if he just did it like a weird way or whatever, but I think it's 60 to 100. I'm not 100%. I'll have to mess around with it a little bit on my own whenever the feature drops for global. But you can see here there's a lot of different materials that you need. It might be a little small on your screen, so I'll read it off to you. You need 2 UR pendants. You need 18, well, technically 21, because he got the character from level 50 to 60. You need 21 SSR pendants. You need 8 of the 6-star books, 125 OG Demon materials, 145 Belmoth materials, 80 Howlix ears, 80 Grey Demon wings, and 50 of the Red Demon horns. So it's quite a bit of materials. You do definitely want to make sure that you're doing your demons in advance. Make sure that you have all of the materials that you need done. If you need to, make sure you go over here to your intermediate guy, who I don't know what this guy's name is, the intermediate shop. He lets you, look at all of your stuff. If you do knighthood stuff, you can actually buy the foods and everything like that to double your drops in those demons right here. I think there's even, there's the ones for Red, Gray, and Howlix demons as well here. The Fight Festival shop also has them if you do a lot of PvP and stuff like that and you're sitting on extra coins. I try to stay around the 10,000 mark just so that way I'm not lacking if there's a new artifact card that comes out that you need for some really good set, I try to stay around this amount. But if I have a lot of extras or whatever, and I just, cash in, my rewards for a couple of weeks, and I'm sitting on like 14, 16,000, whatever the case may be, I'll spend, a couple of extra of these coins to try to grab any food that I can get, or maybe some anvils or something like that. So just to make sure that I'm on top of things, I'm getting, the best rewards from my time, and I'm doubling what I can when I do my demons. So the demons are definitely a big one. Another thing to note is the XP pots. If we actually look at when he completely powers the character up right here, it takes 4 million gold, which I think is normal to power the character all the way up. It shows it all as one transaction. So make sure that you need to do any farming of gold. Gold farming dungeon is always on stamina discount now. Like it's not technically shown as a stamina discount, but it's always half of what it used to be. It's 24 stamina per run on the highest difficulty. So make sure that you farm stamina or farm your gold out while you can. I would definitely recommend waiting till Sunday if you want to farm out any sort of books or anything like that, because those are just going to be actually a little bit more expensive on your stamina pots and stuff like that. But you can see right here, to get the character from level 1 to level 94, or 92, sorry, it takes 30 of the highest tier XP pot, which is not necessarily easy to come by. I mean, you can get stamina pots pretty easy, and you get them from different kinds of events and stuff like that, but you can see I use a lot of stamina pots just to get regular characters from level 1 to 100, so the fact that it takes 30 to get from 1 to 92 is very interesting, and I guess if you hit... I would assume if you get like a super or a great success or whatever on it, it might go ahead and completely max out the character to level 100, but if not, I mean, definitely farm out some XP potions, because this is where it takes, you basically have to use these to level up your characters. Running just regular stages and stuff in this game does not do it justice, but either way, the only other thing that I really wanted to talk about was gear, because gear is obviously a big one if you're wanting to use this character in PvE or in geared PvP. Then you're going to have a gear set for him. I don't necessarily know what is completely best at the moment. I do have a couple of different pieces. I have these two random defense pieces, and one of them is really bad, actually. It's only like 11%. You can see the rolls are not very good on it. But I do have a couple of sets that I already had sort of prepared in the meantime, which is kind of nice. I think it's this character right here that has the set. No, I think it's this one. Okay, so I have an attack crit damage set that I'm already sort of building for my Bond. I don't necessarily think that attack crit damage set is going to be the best for PvP. If I had to guess, potentially it could be, as long as you're, okay with going second. But, going second is kind of a big detriment when you're in the higher tiers of PvP. And from my understanding, if you go second to the Demon team, even with the new Bond, the Demon team still wrecks. So you got to be careful. You got to play for CC if you really want to go first, and you got to play for damage if you really want to do big damage. So I don't like that about PvP in this game, but it is what it is. There's nothing I can do to change that. So I am building an attack crit damage set. Luckily, I was able to build an attack set for him. I had an attack defense set built before Purgatory Melee or Purgatory Bond even came out. So that was 2 years ago. So I'm finally going to be able to get some use out of my attack set that I built. But yeah, I'm still working on the rolls for this one, and then I'll UR it. But if you already have a Purgatory or a Ragnarok Bond set, which should be hopefully HP defense, because he's just like a universal backliner kind of character, you might be able to technically use this if you want to try him HP defense, because I know a lot of people are kind of saying that he might be more of a support style character with the way that he plays. So if you want to go for more CC, maybe play him as a support kind of character, you could potentially just recycle and put your Ragnarok Bond set on him instead. Obviously, if you have multiple sets made, as long as the gear pieces are in the exact same order, I can take off my crit damage pieces from the attack set and put them on this set and make an HP crit damage set to try that, or whatever the case may be. I don't necessarily think that's going to be a good set for him because he's an attack-based character, unlike Purgatory Bond. But I don't know, Purgatory Bond set, if you already have a set for him, which is regular HP defense rolls, but the attack rolls are not attack because he's not an attack-based unit. All of these are normally like half HP, or normally half crit damage, half crit chance rolls, which might not necessarily be the worst thing. I don't typically like that because obviously if it's an attack-based character, you want attack. But the new Bond at level 100 has like a 101% chance to crit, which is pretty low compared to modern festival characters, so that little bit of extra crit chance might help him out, and the crit damage rolls, because he's guaranteed to crit if you put his debuff on them, might actually just make that do more damage overall. I imagine, you know, having the attack rolls or having the crit damage rolls will probably even out somewhere in the middle, and the attack rolls are going to give you more CC overall, so I'm not 100% sure on that being like an actually decent way to run him, but I'll try to keep an eye on that, try to get a little bit more information for you guys before the character, or as the character comes out, and once he does, I'll try to make a dedicated video on like what gear set you should make for him. Probably going to do a little bit of testing with him beforehand, because I don't want you guys to just preemptively make a bad set, but I don't know. I'll try my best. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in the next one.